A matchup between the Jacksonville Jaguars and the Houston Texans. Seems like we were just starting training camp, but here we are in October, and off we go on EA Sports. They go play action here on first down. Blitz coming, and down he goes. Myles Jack in there to drop him for his 5th sack of the year.
Well, we knew coming in it was going to be a long afternoon if they weren't able to hold up against this pass rush, huh?
What we didn't know was that protection was going to spring a leak on the first play from scrimmage.
Got after him right out of the gate.
So now 20 yards to go on second down after the sack. Work to be done. A shotgun snap for Watson. He'll rifle this one deep right side. And he fires one that's intercepted. Picked off at the 35. And he'll take this across midfield and inside the 45. They were ball hawks last week. They had a trio of interceptions on defense. In the first drive, they pick up right where they left off.
They're creating quite a reputation for themselves, aren't they? And sometimes what happens is, when they know that the defense can take the ball away, as they saw the previous week, now you try too hard to not let them take it away, and you force yourself into errors. They've intimidated them in a sense and gotten the ball from them.
And he's going to get stopped up quickly. Give him a yard down to the 43.
Defensively here, you're facing a top 5 team in terms of points scored in the NFL, so when they're that high-powered, you've got to find a way to hold them under 20, because to me, that's the magic number. 20-point score, you give yourself your best chance to win.
So if they're up around 24, 28, 30, they could be in some trouble.
And I think so, because then you turn it into a shootout, and that means your offense has to keep pace.
On second down, here's Fournette. And he'll take this one down to about the 40. J.J. Watt, the one that gets him down.
J.J. Watt makes another tackle there, and it's for a minimal gain. And let's face it, if that's all you're going to get running the ball, you're not going to have much success against him and his team.
Or, yeah, you better find a way to go around J.J. Watt, which isn't easy to do.
It's really not, because you got to try everything. Can you go around him? Can you go by him? Can you influence him to get him out of position so maybe you can wall him off? He's a really sharp, intelligent player, as well as a physical specimen.
Now a play fake here on first down. This is caught. And he will get this into the end zone for a Jaguar touchdown. DJ Chark hitting double digits with his 10th touchdown of the season. And the Jags have taken the early lead. And this one through the uprights and good. Here's Lambeau out to kick this one away. And that'll carry over the back line of the end zone for a touchback. The Texans offense now, they get set to head back on the field here. And following the interception, just any interception, are you a little bit more cautious when you start that next drive, or no, you just throw that out the window?
I think you are. I don't think that there's any way you can run back out there and go, totally didn't affect me. Let's just go ahead and be loose with the football again. You're going to take care of it, but you have to be careful about being too cautious, because now you can't run any offense at all.
Still want to attack. We'll see how they attack him here. And he'll fight forward to about the 27-yard line. Give him a couple on the carry there. 2nd and 8.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up, because what they're hoping, those big defensive linemen will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
Come back.
To throw on second is Watson. He rifles one that's intercepted. Picked off right around the 43. And it's a tremendous return as they finally get him at about the 10-yard line.
So that's back-to-back drives where they're throwing an interception. Ordinarily, we look at the offense and say, what's going on with your scheme? Maybe we should look at the defense and just give them a whole lot of credit. They've got them frustrated right now.
Over! Watching that, Barney! Watching that, Barney!
They'll try and run for it with Fournette. And he'll fight his way down inside the 10 to the 9-yard line. It's a gain of a couple, and it'll be second and goal. Defensively, pretty good start there with their backs against the wall.
That's a win for the stop troops right there. And if I'm them, I get a little bolder now. They won the first battle. Keep coming after them. Put the pressure on them.
And the ball situated at the 9. Second and goal. They'll give it to him up the middle. Only a yard there, and that'll bring us to third and goal.
Partner, I know we're in a goal-to-go situation, but my goodness, think about running the ball here. Not even a thought, is it?
Defensively, they're in a prime spot.
And I think the defensive guys are probably expressing themselves to them as well. I wouldn't run it here, guys. You might want to try throwing it.
Watching that, Barney!
They'll look to throw on third and goal. Under pressure, and the Texans able to get in there for the sack. DJ Reader able to track him down for a loss of 13, and it'll bring up fourth down. And Lambeau will put this one through, and the lead moves to 10-zip. They got the interception, but very little movement after, and that forces him to settle for 3. And it does feel like settling when that happens, doesn't it?
It certainly does, but we got to give a lot of credit where it's due, and that's to the defense because they ran onto the field. This is what we call sudden change, right? Interception, you got to go put out the fire, and they did, holding them to a field goal.
And now out comes Houston. And it's been a miserable start for them offensively. Obviously, 2 drives, 2 interceptions.
And this is where you have to know your quarterback and know how you actually have to reach him. Do you do it with a little bit of humor? Maybe you break the ice a little bit. Like, hey, didn't we practice in that colored jersey all week? Not the one that you're throwing it to? Or maybe you have to be stern with him. But whatever it's going to take to get the message, it has to be done. He's putting the game in jeopardy.
And here's another interception, the third of this first quarter. Picked off at the 48, and this one will be returned to right around the 38-yard line.
You hear me laughing, partner, and I'm not laughing at the situation, but sometimes you just get yourself into a rut. It's hard to shake yourself out of it.
Detroit!
They'll come out throwing here on first down. He's going to let this one go deep, and it drops down incomplete. Thought he might have had it. Instead, second down.
Well, you've got a receiver here who's got 1 touchdown already in this first quarter, and they were trying to double his pleasure there, wanting to continue to go to the guys already gotten into the end zone. But good coverage and make sure that this time it fell incomplete.
After the incomplete pass, here now is second and 10. They'll look to throw here. Caught Safarian Jenkins, right side. Only 3 yards on the catch. It's third down.
And, partner, I think that's a great example that not all tight ends are created equal because everything was right. Got the completion, but he's not one of the more dynamic guys in the league. So even though he caught it, couldn't turn it into much more.
He'll drop to throw. Able to shake him off. Forced out to his, but now he's swallowed up and taken down. Whitney Merciless in there to get him for a loss of 3, and it'll be fourth down. So now they're going to send out the field goal unit to, as they say, fire away from long distance. This will be from 56 yards out. And his kick is good. He got every bit of that one as it's good from 56 yards out. These kickers now, it used to be that a 50-plus yarder was cause for celebration. Now, seemingly automatic.
Yeah, isn't it funny when we prepare for a game, when you look at the backgrounds of these kickers, it's interesting, isn't it, to find out they were all-state quarterbacks, receivers, defensive backs, all-state wrestlers, right? Baseball players. We're finding athletes all along, and now they're just specialists putting it through the posts.
Watson will bring up the Texans here, 1st and 10 at their own 25-yard line. Trying to shake off the interception from the last drive. He'll look to throw. He couldn't quite hold it. Got hit. Ball pops out. Incomplete.
Even without a ton of pressure in his face, it just shows how difficult it is to pick apart his own defense. Those guys are sitting back, and they're not playing receivers as much as they're playing the eyes of the quarterback and when he delivers the ball.
An incomplete pass leads to 2nd and 10 from the 25. Throwing again is Watson. Oh, the ball is out. Watson lost it. And the Jags grab it. And the field position doesn't get much better than this. They'll have it 1st and goal at the 8-yard line. A little careless with the football, and he also had a fumble loss last week, didn't he?
He certainly did, and when I'm watching him play, the one thing that comes to mind is always remember, traffic, turbulence, people around you, 2 hands. Get 2 hands on the ball. Grip it tight. I know it looks cool to have it in one hand, but put it away, tuck it away, because you've got to take care of the ball.
They'll try and run for it on 1st and goal. And that one blown up quickly, as he's going to be stopped before he could even get started.
Doubling this guy has to be a priority before moving up to the next level, because the big fella, he just ate that one alive, just stuffed it. In fact, before the game, he was talking to us, and he's like, hey, these pants make me look fat? And we said, nah, man, you're just a whole lot of guy.
He is well over 300 pounds. He's a big man. They get it to him running left. And this play doesn't go anywhere. Backwards, losing yardage to the 11. They'll lose a yard, and it brings up 3rd.
Well, after getting the ball in prime position to score after a fumble recovery, you think you're in a great spot. But the defense on the field is saying not so fast, and they've held firm on the first 2 plays.
But they need to reverse the trend. The last 2 plays have gone backwards. Now it's 3rd and goal. He'll look to throw. And he's going to go down. The Texans come at him and able to bring him to the ground. J.J. Watt in there to drop him for a loss of 10. And it'll be 4th and long. And Lambeau will put this one through, and that's going to make this a 16-0 ball game. So not sure how they feel about that. They had golden field position to start the drive after the fumble recovery, but they went backward and then got 3.
Well, let's go from gold to silver, because the silver lining is they got the 3, right? You were talking about the golden field position. They didn't take advantage of it. That has to feel like a letdown.
You always stand ready to pounce. Always. And now out comes Houston. And last time they coughed it up, led to a field goal. They're fortunate that it only led to a field goal, but still, they're not happy about it.
Could you sense the relief, though, when they only gave up the field goal? And they were able to trot back out on the field and start this drive a little more pep in their step, because it didn't cost their team a touchdown. But they know they've got to do it a lot better than they did on the last possession.
The coach will just be relieved, though, if they recoup with a score here, right?
I think the coach will be ecstatic to see them pick themselves back up and now take it downfield, punching the end zone without turning it over.
Come back, come back. Down, come back, come back. Green the line.
On 2nd down, here's Watson. Going deep for Hopkins. And his pass is intercepted for the 4th time today. Picked off near the 44. We haven't even escaped the first half, and he's already thrown 4 picks.
And Brandon, back in the good old days, probably back before you were born, if your starter threw 4 in the first half, he might throw 8 or more for the game because they weren't going to pull him out. But nowadays, the patience level isn't quite there. He's going to have to make some real adjustments, or the backup may see some time.
And it's incomplete. D.D. Westbrook, his intended receiver. And that'll bring up second down.
It's always a battle. Who's going to win on first down, the offense or the defense? Let's face it, if you've got the ball, 4 yards or more on first down is what you're aiming for. They tried to throw for it there. Nice effort to knock that one away and bring up second down.
He'll try again with the arm here on second down. Open man right side is Sharp. And he'll be down deep in Houston territory. A gain of 39 that time. So a big pickup that time. And Charles, defending AFC Player of the Week, maybe bucking towards another award this week.
Yeah, and they say they don't really care about the individual awards. You and I both know
they do.
It means a lot to them. It means respect around the league. And if he's able to show those kind of hands all game long, he can win a second one.
Able to fight for about 4 yards there to the 13. To Fournette. And he was able to shed the tackle, but the reserves come in for the stop. Call it a gain of a yard, and it's going to bring up 3rd and 5.
And as we've seen throughout this season, it's no picnic trying to score touchdowns against this unit. They're ranked number 1 against the run. But it's also difficult because it's not easy to throw the ball against them either.
Out of the gun now on 3rd down. Over to the right side, caught by Moncrief. And he has the first down before he's tackled at the 5. They're able to convert on 3rd down, and that sets up a 1st and goal.
I always laugh when people say, what's the toughest route to defend? And I'm like, any of them, especially if it's a good receiver. That makes things very difficult. But when you're running a drag route, something short, shallow, going through defenders, using guys almost as screens in order to get open, that makes things tougher, guys.
And he'll take this into the end zone. Touchdown, Jacksonville. A great effort there. His 2nd touchdown on the season. And the Jaguars add on to their lead. When you talk about a battle being won in the trenches, that touchdown right there, a lot of credit to the offensive linemen.
Yeah, when you watch them surge across the front, they really created great space for the runner to get in.
This will be fielded at the 6. And he'll get across the 20 before he's brought down at about the 23-yard line. And now out comes Houston. And some dangerous territory. You're already down 3 scores. A 3-and-out here, or an inability to put any points up. This one might be over by half.
Yeah, and what you also have to guard against is calling every play for a big shot downfield. You know, thinking you're going to get all these points back on one drive. You're not. And last time I looked, it's still the first half. I'm not saying you have ultimate patience here, but you also don't have to go ahead and force everything either.
Trying to shake off the interception. He'll look to throw. And nearly another interception. They've been around the ball all game. I hate to sound really negative, but at this point, an incomplete pass, almost a moral victory that it's not picked off.
Well, you may hate to sound negative, but that was negative.
It was very negative, I know. But all these first-half interceptions, it's been tough to watch.
Yeah, couldn't find a silver lining in this one. Much more like lead.
Back to the air, Watson on 2nd down. Jaguar pressure and a Jaguar sack. Miles Jack. He's the one to get him, and that's sack number 7 for him on the year. Gonna need something special here on 3rd and long. After that sack, what does Watson have in his arsenal? From the gun, here's Watson. Oh, the pressure too great, and he goes down once more. The former All-Pro, Marcel Darius. In there to drop him, and back-to-back sacks now bring up 4th and long. So a short drop, but he's able to get it out, and this is a good kick. And taken right at the 35. Nice job bringing that one back. 14 on the return. And this offense will take over right at the midfield stripe with a 1st and 10. Out comes the Jacksonville offense as they get set to take over here. And for them, a touchdown their last go-around. Obviously, they'll be hoping to do that again.
And when you start plotting for this drive, when you start thinking to yourself, okay, what are we going to do? You don't go away from what you did before because that worked, but you have to be prepared for wrinkles and counters because you know they'll make some adjustments.
Here we go. Green 39. Black green 39. Here we go. Gone, gone. Gone, gone. All right, now, lucky 56. Lucky 56.
They'll start out on the ground. It's Leonard Fournette. Call it no gain on the play, and it'll be 2nd down.
He did have the touchdown run earlier, but not a heck of a lot more than that throughout this game.
No, not at all. In fact, I would say that this defense has done as good of a job on him as they have on any runner in recent memory.
Here we go now. Green 39. Watch it now, Barney. Green 39. Detroit. Detroit. Gone, gone. Gone, gone. All right, now, lucky 56. Lucky 56.
Back to throw now on 2nd and 10. That one complete to D.D. Westbrook. And he's brought down. His first catch, good for 14 there and a 1st down.
To win any route, you've got to break down the defender, and that's exactly what happened here on this really nicely executed curl route.
Fournette, a 1st down carry. And he'll be taken down at the 33, a pickup of about 4.
One thing to keep in mind, partner, especially in the second half, when you've got a running back of this size, of these dimensions, I can just tell you, attrition does set in for a defense because you're excited about hitting him in the first half. Maybe not so much in the...
Into double coverage, and it's intercepted. Picked off down near the 5. And he returns it here to his own 18-yard line. How about the big boys snagging one? You don't see that every week.
No, you don't, but a lot of them are just reliving their old dreams, going back to when they were in youth football and in high school. They didn't always play defensive line. Some of them actually handled the football, and you can see the flashback when he grabbed that one.
Watson will bring up the Texans here, 1st and 10 at their own 18. After the interception, here's Watson. Dumps it complete to Miller. And they'll get him down here at the 23. 4 yards on the pickup, and it'll be a 2nd down.
Everyone's got to be able to catch the football. Doesn't matter what position you play, but if you're on offense, be aware a ball may come your way.
Richmond. Down. Green 39. Green 39.
Here's Watson now on 2nd down. Fuller brings it in over the middle. And they're able to get this one across the 35. 13 yards on his first catch. It's a 1st down as well.
I think it all came together there. In-breaking route. Drove it with excellent pace. Money throw right there to move the sticks.
Watson on 1st down. Underneath for Miller. And he'll get it out near the 40 to the 39. It'll be a 3-yard gain, and it'll make it a 2nd down.
Well, it's tough to be a defender in today's NFL because there's so many things to account for in today's passing game, including the back sneaking out of the backfield. Not quite as bad as a turkey bowl where you have that center-eligible stuff, but still a lot of guys to account for.
Back 22.
To the air yet again, Watson. Ooh, the juke. Throwing for his running back, and he's got him complete. And he'll get up to the 43-yard line. It's a 4-yard pickup, and that'll make it 3rd down.
Come back. Hey, Blue 80.
Again, it's Watson. A hit as he throws there, incomplete.
Didn't have a receiver open downfield, and as it turned out, couldn't even find his outlet man because of the coverage. It was way too tight, unable to find anyone open.
Here's Jordan Berry now. On for his second punt. He'd take a repeat of his first. And he gets this away, and look at this. This is a good one. Two minutes remain here in the first half. We're back to Houston after this timeout. They go back to the air here after the INT on the last drive. It's incomplete. Took a shot, couldn't connect.
Brandon, it looked like he had his hands on it for a moment, but let's face it, that was going to be a tough catch all the way because of the presence of the defense right there as he was trying to haul it in.
Yeah, nice job to force the incompletion. So after the incompletion on first, now 2nd and 10. They'll set up a throw. Moncrief brings it in. And down he goes, but he takes it up to the 40. A big one there for the Jags. 18 yards, first down.
As long as you go through your proper reads and progressions, the drag route can be one of those old reliable plays because usually it's good for a good chunk of yardage, as we just saw there.
And those guys like it, right? They can get the ball with a full head of steam.
Especially against man coverage, because man coverage, they're typically running away from someone and not worried about traffic coming out on the other end.
But when this ball's tipped and intercepted, picked off at the 24. And they have the football and will take over at the 24-yard line.
Oh, and that's a nice job defensively to get a piece of the football. He's going to pop it into the air, and then it's the tip drill. And good concentration by him to react to it and pull in the interception.
Green the line. Green the line. Two jet.
Now a first down throw, Watson. And he was hit as he threw it there, and it forces it incomplete.
This defense has been very disruptive early on as they force another one to go awry.
Seems to be the front and the back end. Pass rush, they've been able to get home, and they're taking the ball away in coverage as well.
I love how you put it together. The front and back working in sync, only way to play good defense.
So they'll come up after the incompletion for 2nd down. Watson throwing again. Under pressure now, Watson, and down he goes. Malik Jackson coming up the middle, gets him there for a loss of about 9. And now the Jags defense deciding to call a timeout as they'll stop it with just over a minute to go before halftime. Gonna need something special here on 3rd and long. After that sack, what does Watson have in his arsenal?
Reset. Green the line. Target.
Out of the gun, Watson. And now here's another interception. Picked off near the 32. And his guys are going to take over at the 31-yard line. That's now his 2nd interception in as many weeks from his linebacker position.
And think about all the different techniques he has to employ in a passing situation. Is he spot dropping because it's zone? Is he picking up man-to-man? Is he having to run with a running back or a tight end? In any event, great eyes, head on a swivel, and excellent hands.
Yeah, versatility and showing those hands. That's going to go as a loss of a yard, and it'll be 2nd down.
Detroit! All right, here we go. All right, now look at 56.
Now a shotgun snap as they'll look to throw. And a big loss here as he's taken down. And now maybe they want some extra time to talk about this 3rd and long play as we'll get a timeout. As the clock will stop with just under 30 seconds to go in the first half. Need something from deep in the bag of tricks here after 1st and 2nd down. Went backwards. It's 3rd and very long.
All right, now, lucky 56. Lucky 56.
They're going to look to throw. Trying to lay one up deep. And for the third time here in this half, it's intercepted. Picked off by Justin Reed. And his guys have got it back at the closing stages of the first half. So that is 3 interceptions now in this first half, and you hate to ask the question, but here, let's be honest, we're thinking about it. Do you need to go in a different direction next series?
Potentially. We know that he's probably not going to be on the Pro Bowl ballot. That's not really his stature here, but he has been their starting quarterback for this game. So they've got to weigh things about who's behind him. Do they think he can snap it back into gear? Maybe change up the play calling to help him out a little bit.
Brings it up just shy of the 25. Showed some of that quickness there on the move. 7 yards on the pickup there, and it'll leave him with a 2nd and 3. So we've come to halftime after a very one-sided beginning to this one. As we'll get you over to Orlando, where standing by is Jonathan Coachman. He has our EA Sports halftime report. The Jaguars in possession of the lead, and they will get the football as we are underway in this second half. This will be fielded at the 6. And not a bad return here. He gets it out to the 25-yard line. Out come the Jaguars now as they'll go on offense first here in this third quarter. They built a good first half lead. Now they have a chance to add on to it.
And what I'm thinking is that the offensive staff spent the entire halftime just working with them on, here's what we think they're going to do to attack us in the second half. Nice first half that we've had, guys, but be prepared for some change-ups. We're going to see them when we kick it off in the second half.
See how they handle any adjustments that might be made defensively. He'll be tackled shy of the 35. Shifty footwork gets him a little extra on the play. A good run there on first down, and it'll leave him with a 2nd and 2. Now they'll throw here out of the gun. And the hit jarred it loose. It's incomplete. So he can't hang on, and as I watched that unfold, I remembered an expression that I've heard, maybe from you, I don't know, but you're going to get hit anyways, might as well hold on to the ball.
Well, you know a coach said that, right?
Yeah.
Not an actual player. Not a chance at all. Way easier said than done.
They'll try and run for it with Fournette. And he'll lose yardage. Brought down at the 32. That'll make it 4th down after a loss of 1.
No surprise there, Jadeveon Clowney with a tackle for loss. We all know how he became one of the most famous players in football, though, don't we? Remember?
Oh, that one play.
Yeah, that one big-time play was on highlights everywhere. They want to see more of that here in the NFL.
Here's the Texans offense now, readying for their first possession of the second half. They were able to get the stop defensively. Now a chance to turn that into points on the offensive end.
Can you imagine what the grease board looks like at the half? Because
no, tell me.
That's exactly what they printed up. Stop them on defense, get the ball back for our offense, and go downfield and score some points. Now, the last part remains to be seen, but they got the first part done very well.
Do people use grease boards, or you mean the magic marker boards?
Yeah, those two.
Now, the first play of the drive there is incomplete.
And that's one he's got to be happy to have back. There wasn't a hole open in the zone.
You'd have to think on early downs like that first down there, need to be a little bit more careful.
Yeah, fortunately for him, got a couple more downs to play with.
Come back, 22! Back, 22! Come back, come back! Check, go get him, go get him!
On 2nd and 10, Watson. Going to throw right side here, complete. And he's brought down after a good gain. 23 yards on the play. Watson now, he's hit on just 5 of 15 throws, a poor percentage, but it's 1st and 10. Here's Watson. And the Jags get to him as down he goes. Yannick Ngakoue in there to drop him for his 5th sack of the year. And they need to work to at least get some of this yardage back after the sack. 2nd and 19.
Green, the line.
Watson now to throw. And he's going to go down again. Miles Jack in there to get him, and that's sack number 8 for him on the year.
So one quick, easy analysis about why they've struggled so far. They keep putting themselves in 3rd and long situations. They just took another sack right there.
And the offensive film session tomorrow may be a little longer than it normally is.
Not a lot of positive grades will be handed out thus far.
3rd and long. It's Watson. The catch made by DeAndre Hopkins. They get 13, but it's not nearly enough. And it'll be 4th down. Here's Jordan Berry now as he's on to punt for Houston. Now comes Jacksonville as they get ready to go. They're out in front. Last time they had to punt it away. We'll see if they can add to their lead now.
They don't want to go out and punt it away again. This team now wants to get a cushion, put people away. They want to run their offense and have it end up in the end zone.
Trying to get the run game going. This is Fournette. And he finds enough of an opening to get this one back up to his 20. Give him 5 on the carry there, and it'll be 2nd down.
3rd quarter, and you've got the lead. You're not ready to go into that 4-minute offense to close the game out, but a running game can really benefit your team right now.
All right, now, look at 56. Detroit! Lucky 56! Gun! All right, now, look at 56. Lucky!
From the shotgun, he'll look to throw. And his pass is intercepted for the 4th time today. Picked off by Andre Howe. And his guys are going to get the football at the 28-yard line. On the toss, here's Foreman. Oh, he's got some breathing room. That's good for 21 yards and a 1st down.
When big runs occur, sometimes there's a sense that things were pretty easy, and that one carried them down inside the 10. But getting into the end zone now, that won't be easy at all because you're going to face different defenses and not as much real estate to work with. Will they be able to run it, or will they have to throw it in order to try and score?
Back to throw, Watson. And it'll be intercepted. Picked up by Jalen Ramsey. Yet another interception, and I just had to double-check my math. But it is now 8 between last week and this week.
Well, I just used a calculator. I didn't worry about double-checking it. But the thing that always throws me when you see quarterbacks in this type of a bad spot, they're trying to figure out what they can do to change it, and sometimes they try too hard, and they never get out of it. And that's where he is right now. He's just locked in a really bad way.
And incomplete as he was knocked as he threw it, and it took the ball off course. What a difference a week makes. Last week he hit on over 80% of his passes. This week he's down under 50%. What do you see as the difference?
Well, I think we're used to seeing a drop. If someone's over 80%, they're not going to hold that number. Not in this league. But a drop under 50%, that just tells me that the defense, they spent a lot of extra time on game films and came up with a really good plan to try and chip away at his timing.
A throw left side complete to his receiver, Westbrook. And he's going to get this one across the 30-yard line. That one good for a gain of 13 for Jacksonville and a 1st down.
Well, if you do read man coverage, Brandon, the drag route's a pretty good one to run against it because you're running away from people on it.
This quarterback now 8 of 17 so far, under 50%.
Detroit!
Now back to throw. Under pressure, and the Texans able to get in there for the sack. J.J. Watt in there to get him his second sack now of the afternoon. That huge loss on the sack makes this job much more difficult. It's now 2nd down and 22 yards to go. The play action fake. They'll look to throw. Caught. Safarian Jenkins, right side. A big gain there after going backwards, and that'll lead to a 3rd down.
But when you hit him on the move like that, and he's able to get into open field with a full head of steam, oh, boy, it's going to be tough to get him down.
Yeah, there was a big window. They're lucky they did get him down. The Jaguars on 3rd down, lacking much success, just 2 for 7 to this point. They need just a yard here. It's 3rd and 1. He'll drop to throw. And my goodness, another interception. Picked off at the 40. And they will score a pick 6 for the Texans TD. Short throw, pick 6 right there. Those linebackers, they love when those short throws come and those eyes get real wide, don't they?
How about the anticipation on the play? Reading, reacting, and then the ability to catch the football. And
it's intercepted at the goal line. Picked off by the linebacker, Miles Jack. And they'll have the football, but deep in their own territory as he's brought down at the 5. So they throw the pick 6. They'll get another shot at it now as this one's in the air. This will be fielded at the 6. Oh, nifty juke there.
Not much fun for a guy trying to tackle him.
And out now comes Jacksonville as they get ready to go. This is sort of what you would call the put-away drive, isn't it? They score here, especially a touchdown. It's almost out of reach.
It certainly feels that way, and I think that they're going to call their plays accordingly because what you really want to do, even though you know the scoreboard is still up there and the game's going to go on, in fact, you can take the spirit away from another team. That their drive and will to come back and win can be taken with another score right here.
Still 3rd quarter, but you just get that feel.
Yeah, they're teetering right there on the brink, aren't they?
Meanwhile, they take a shot to start the drive, but this is going to wind up incomplete. So now 2nd and 10 after the incompletion on 1st down.
Detroit! All right, now, look at 56. Look at 56. Detroit!
Flag comes in. This might be a free play. And that'll be incomplete. We do have a penalty flag down, however. Let's see what that's about. So they will accept the penalty and move forward. So the penalty certainly helps them out as they come up on 2nd and 5. Out of the gun, they'll look to throw. Shark's got it, left side. And he's going to get this all the way down inside the 35. They give him a gain of 38.
Well, partner, I'm not sure how this drive's going to end, but how about the way they flip field position there? A nice attacking play. They picked up a heck of a chunk of yardage.
So a 1st and 10 now in Houston territory, down at the 33.
Gone! All right, now, lucky 56. Lucky 56.
He'll look to throw. Dumps it off to Fournette. And he'll go down at the 28. 5 yards on the pickup, and it'll be 2nd down.
And we see another pitch and catch there to the running back. This position just continues to evolve. They become just as critical to the passing attack as a lot of receivers, tight ends, because their ability to make people miss in the open field can really generate big plays for an offense.
They'll set up to throw. Completes it to Moncrief left side. And he's brought down, but not before reaching the 8-yard line. A good pick up there of 20 yards.
Leopard! Gone! Over!
They'll try and run for it on 1st and goal. And he is going to be stopped cold behind the line of scrimmage. A loss of a full 3 yards, and now it's 2nd down. So they get pushed back to the 11, and here's 2nd and goal.
All right, now, lucky 56.
They'll look to throw. And that is caught. Touchdown, Jacksonville. In for the score. And the Jaguars had 6 to their lead. And, partner, they found a gap there on the post pattern, and it was in the middle third of the field.
And that's really difficult to do because ordinarily the safeties are back there to prevent that happening. But they found the opening and exploited it.
Here's Lambeau out to kick this one away. And this will not be returnable. It's out of the back of the end zone for a touchback. And here comes the Texans now. And they had a nice little drive going last time. Threw the interception in the red zone. Costly.
Bad enough to throw it anywhere, but that drives coaches insane when they're thinking about, hey, we've got a shot at points already. We're already in a spot where you're thinking you got 3 on the board for sure, and to come away with nothing, that's a really tough one for them to swallow.
And he's going to be taken down. They sack him on what will be the final play of quarter number 3. Back now in Houston. A lot of folks starting to make their way to the parking lot. Their guys trailed big here to begin quarter number 4. Now following the sack, they'll look to make amends on a 2nd down and 17.
Target.
To throw is Watson. Going deep for Hopkins. That's incomplete. Nearly another pick. My goodness.
Brandon, at least there's one bright side to that incompletion.
What's that?
It wasn't an interception.
Wow. You're a nice guy. That was kind of savage. But correct. No pick, just incomplete that time. An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on 3rd down.
Green the line.
A shotgun snap for Watson. And he takes a shot on the release as this will be incomplete.
Tell you what, partner, after he ices down, he's going to need a nice long soak in a hot tub after this one. He's been under duress the entire game.
And once again, hit as he throws. Fortunate that one wound up incomplete. He steps into this one, and this is a rocket. And that one hits at the 7, but bounds into the end zone, and that'll be a touchback. And now out come the Jags. And that last drive, a long drive, but not just that. They had a great air attack going. Did they stick with that?
I would think that they would, because if they were confident enough to do it on the last drive, starting backed up in their own territory, why would you change anything? They've got to be confident about what they're presenting and continue to do so.
Yeah, because the secondary, they really look clueless.
And that was amazing because that drive went and went, no adjustments, and no big plays by the defense to knock the ball away.
No. Check. Patriot. Detroit. Set. Green 39. Here we go. Leopard.
He'll look to throw. He's going to air one out. And that's caught inside the 30. Jaguars. DJ Chark, 81 yards. And the Jaguars continue to roll. So another score there. Often you talk about the 3 phases of the game. Defense, offense, special teams. It's been a clean sweep in this one, hasn't it?
It certainly has. They've been pretty dominant throughout this game. And privately, the head coach will add a 4th phase. That's the coaching. And he'll tell the ownership that as he tries to negotiate a new contract off of this win.
They are looking strong here in the 4th quarter. This will be fielded at the 8. And he'll take it back to about the 19-yard line. And now out comes Houston. These guys had to punt their last possession, and that's become too familiar of a refrain. Too many of these drives just wound up going nowhere.
But you know how in baseball, when the pitcher gets a base hit and he's on base, they bring his jacket out to him to keep him warm? A lot of times the punter goes to the sideline, puts on sweatpants or a wrap over his leg to keep it warm. He might need a massage from the trainer right now from all the work he's getting.
And he finds some space past the 25 to the 27. Just what you want on a first down run. Call it 8 yards, and it's 2nd and 2.
53, check 53. We own them.
They run again with Foreman. They'll lose a yard that time, and that's going to lead to a 3rd down.
Brandon, we're into the second half, and this offense has not scored a lot of points, and that was another example of why. I think it's time to open things up and start really trying to move the ball.
The Texans on 3rd down. A pretty woeful 0 for 5 thus far. This time it's 3rd and 3.
Tiger. Hey, who ready?
From the gun, here's Watson. And this is going to be incomplete. Another wayward pass. You know, things started out poorly in this game, and to be frank, they just really haven't gotten much better.
And all that does is embolden a secondary. They feel good about what's going on, and they just play better and better.
Their already slim hopes are going to ride on this one. They'll go on 4th down. As expected, they're going for it to keep the drive alive. He's got Fuller. And now this is going to depend on the spot. And they say he's just short. The Texans tried it, but they come up empty here on 4th. And the Jags take over in terrific field position.
Watching that, Barney. Watching that, Barney.
Here's a give to Fournette. And he's going to bring this one down to right about the 20-yard line. 8 yards on the pickup, and now they'll have some options on 2nd and short. They'll look to throw here. And that will be caught, but out of the end zone, says the field judge. It's ruled incomplete. Charles, you said earlier this defense is probably going to need to hold these guys right around 20 or under that if they were going to have a chance. It was evident pretty early on that wasn't going to happen.
Yeah, they left 20 behind a long time ago in this game, didn't they? It looks like they're headed towards a big number. But 20 was the threshold because that kept them in the ball game and kept the pressure off of their own offense.
They'll drop to throw. And he's got Moncrief. And brought down, but not before they get it inside the 10 to the 7. They're able to convert on 3rd down, and that sets up a 1st and goal. And with that last play, he's now up over that 300-yard mark.
And in today's NFL, it almost feels routine. And I hate that when you talk about a 300-yard passing game. To me, 300 yards still signifies excellence, and he's achieved that in this performance.
They'll try and run for it on 1st and goal. And he is going to lose yardage here. A loss of a full 3 yards, and now it's 2nd down.
I think it's pretty evident. We can say what a difference a week makes. Last week, he ran pretty much wild, didn't he? Did pretty much what he wanted to do. But this one, they've stopped him cold. That, to me, that's good scouting and even better execution.
Yeah, and they stopped him behind the line right there. They obviously watched the tape a few times and made some adjustments. Now a 2nd down throw for the end zone, but it's incomplete.
Get your backs to the goal line. I can hear my high school coach right now. This is when force meets force. Got to be physical in order to win this battle.
Yeah, that's where the physicality pays off. A nice job forcing the contact and forcing the incompletion.
Yeah, Coach Ford would have loved that play.
Gone! All right, now, lucky 56. Lucky.
Back to throw. Now the pressure gets there, and he goes down just inside the 20 at the 19.
This has been a tough one for this offensive line. It appears almost like they've been on roller skates this entire game, the way they've been pushed around. 6 sacks given up in this one.
And Lambo will put this one through, and that will just add 3 more to a lead that's already out of hand. So it's 3 more points, and that widens this thing out even further here in the fourth.
And you know in this league, you can never have enough points, but this widens it out, as you said, and now it's all about ball control, isn't it?
They'll bring it back to just about the 25, call it the 24-yard line. And now out comes Houston. Watson will bring up the Texans here, 1st and 10 at their own 24. They'll start out on the ground. It's Lamar Miller. And he is going to lose yardage here. It's a loss of a yard there, and now 2nd down.
The best offenses and the ones that win are ones that make adjustments. And right now, I think this team needs to open things up.
Come back.
To throw on 2nd is Watson. He'll rifle this one deep right side. And now here's another interception. Picked off at the 47. And they will be set up now as he brings this thing all the way back inside the 20. Gosh, you add up last week and this week now, that's 9 interceptions in this 2-game stretch, and we're not done here.
It's almost as if they can't even believe their eyes. Or maybe, partner, is the confidence level in him so high that they believe he'll get out of it and make plays for them to win a game.
Well, they've said they believe in him. That's being tested right here. And he will get into the end zone. It's another touchdown. This thing is ugly. And for them, this train, it just keeps rolling, doesn't it? Well on their way to yet another victory.
Yeah, it's almost a runaway, isn't it? And you just wonder how anyone could stop this. They got full momentum going, full confidence going. But it's not just their own confidence that is leading them. It's the lack of confidence against their opponents now, because they see them coming and think, we've got no shot to beat this team.
This one taken from the 7. And he's up past the 20 to the 22-yard line. And now out comes Houston. Watson will bring up the Texans here, 1st and 10 at their own 22. They go back to the air here after the INT on the last drive. Quick hits, complete. It's Fuller. He'll be dropped at the 30. The shifty move got him a couple extra on the play. A good pickup there. 8 yards on the 1st down completion. They don't need to run another play here before the 2-minute warning. Let's see if they do it anyway. Here's Watson now on 2nd down. Dumps it complete to Miller. Time for a break. Back to finish it off on EA Sports after this.
Tiger. Tiger. That's mine.
Now a 1st down throw, Watson. Oh, he dropped it. And that's pretty indicative of the way this one's gone. We have not seen a whole lot of wide-open receivers. Everything seemingly has been contested.
And that's another nice job there to force an incompletion. They've been very cohesive, knowing each other's moves all game long, and they've been on the spot just about every time.
And they've held them in check on the scoreboard.
3 down. Hey, come back. Down. Blue 80. Check.
Back to the air, Watson on 2nd down. Hopkins on the grab over the middle. And able to break one tackle, but then quickly brought down. But a nice little gain. 6 yards is the pickup, and that'll lead to a third down. Hard to believe his first catch of the game defensively. They bottled him up. That's why they're well on their way to victory.
Put your best cover guy on him and then change the coverages behind him throughout the game. Brackets, double, zone, man, you name it. Make sure he gets a lot of angles.
And he couldn't hang on to it through the contact. Incomplete. You can tell they were hoping for a flag there offensively. Several on the sideline motioning, hey, why not a penalty? Why not a penalty? What did you see?
Yeah, I think you've got to let them play, and the officials are instructed. If there's contact coming from both sides, no flag. Let them fight it out.
And forces fourth down. Desperation time. Watson on fourth down. Completion left side to Miller. And he's taken down, but not before getting this across midfield and just shy of the 40. But no reason not to try it there, and they do indeed convert on fourth. A first down carry now for Miller. And this one's going to go the wrong way, losing yardage back at the 42. That's going to go as a loss of a yard, and it'll be second down. This linebacking core, they've done a good job of keeping that running game in check, haven't they?
They certainly have, and what they'll also do when this game is over is thank the guys up front, the big defensive line, because they've kept them clean, so to speak. Not letting blockers get to them, allowing them to run to the football and keep that running game bottled up.
And incomplete there. A nice hit. Jars the ball free and brings up third down.
That's very well timed there defensively because it's not a bad throw, but the collision came at the exact time he was reaching to bring in the football. Really, really well done.
Decent offense, just better defense. I think you're right. An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on third down. Out of the gun, Watson. Fuller brings it in over the middle. And here he'll be brought down a little shy of the 35 at the 36. Just a 5-yard pickup, and it leads to fourth down. Got to try it here. He's back to throw. Wide open receiver complete. And he lost the football. Wow, first and goal, and defensively all they can do is shake their heads. Not only did they allow the conversion, but a big play as well.
Richmond.
Watson on first down. And it pops free. The collision there jarred the ball loose and brings up second down.
Well, he'd been targeted quite a bit on this drive, and finally I think the guys on the defensive side, they said no more. They slapped the double coverage on him, made it very tough for him to get the ball.
He'll get it up the middle. And this has been a familiar sight all afternoon as they stop him behind the line. So now with 6 seconds remaining, we get a timeout on the field. This has been a long drive. You got to figure a field goal would be a letdown. Can they convert now on third and goal? From the gun, Watson. And this is going to be intercepted. Picked up by Jalen Ramsey. Well, Charles, it's one thing to win. It's another thing to win and put up the amount of points that they did. What were they clicking on offense?
They can't help but feel great about themselves, can they? I mean, what a game to put up that number of points, continually feel like they're moving the ball and things are working and clicking. They think that they can bottle this and carry it with them.
And as an offense.